Hey, Brick Maniacs, welcome back to another Friday Sit Rep. We got a little slower rundown this week, but there's still plenty going on. First things first, we have launched our Memorial Day sale, both in stores and online. 10-day sale runs now through Memorial Day, 15% off site-wide, pretty much everything like normal. Does exclude those pre-orders and the Project Ukraine stuff, but a lot of awesome stuff available on sale, including those clearance items, which that sale will stack with. We're also going to announce the prizes for the Films and Movies mock contest. We'll do that after our quick segment here, but we do also have some new pre-orders, whatnot, ready to launch today. So first up is the Mirage 3, designed by Nicholas Kramer. Brennan, our project manager there, so we'll make sure to check in the design room with him here in just a minute. And then we also have the T80 BVM Bunny, designed by Dan Siskin. This is indeed another addition to our Project Ukraine lineup, which means that the proceeds from it will go to direct relief to benefit those who need it in Ukraine. So those are both the rundown for this week. Like I said, make sure to stick around after our check-in with the design room for some other cool stuff. But otherwise, let's head on in, take a closer look at these builds. Okay, and our Ukrainian benefit continues with the T80, what is it, T80 BVM?
T80 BVM.
But
yep.
Bunny is what everybody is knowing it as. If you've seen some of the recent media coverage of this tank, it's a pretty dang cool story. And of course, Dan built it. So now we have it in Lego form. Tell us a little bit more about the composition of this. It came together really fast.
Well, it seemed like forever for me. T80 BVM, that's the most modern variant of the Russian T80 tank. It is a turbine, basically a jet-powered tank, very much like the Abrams, something like that. This version is the latest version that Russia's fielding in the Ukraine right now, and this is modeled after one that was captured and has been used against the Russians since the middle of March.
Right.
So we saw a story on the internet, and we had to go hunt down, do some research, and actually found a story on it, and were able to from that determine which tank it was, which features it had on, because there's actually a couple of different variants of the BVM.
Right, not just a straight up T80. Right.
Right, but even within the BVM, there's a couple variants. So I had to track it down to find out this one with the particular configuration, storage, and the bar armor and stuff on it. So
which that turret looks nuts. I mean, it's massive.
right. It's all the frontal arc here is all reactive armor. There's reactive armor on the roof. You got smoke grenade dischargers, look at storage bins all on the side. There's storage bins on both sides. Some storage in the back, ammunition storage for the PKT gun, which I actually stole off of the Akatsuo. This is a gun that Will had made for us way back in the day.
Oh, that's right,
and
exclusively.
We totally forgot about. And it's just like, hey, that's perfect. So it's going to have the right gun when it comes out in a different ammo bin. That's the ammo bin.
Still prototype, yeah.
Right. Well, this is one off of a M2HB. But it'll have a different gun when it's done, or different ammo bin. It'll have the right one, the smaller one. Storage in the back. There's everything you see that's not printed, that looks like it should be printed, will be printed. So
nice.
All of these bins, I'll have printing on it, the stowage on the back. There's going to be printing on the front deck, printing on the rear deck, printing for the air intakes, and of course it'll come with the Commander minifigure. I have two minifigures in here just to show that you could have two guys up in the turret here, but it's only going to have the Commander. Pardon me. The little claws on the mine plow.
The shovel scoops. I don't know what they are. They look so
they're
cool.
Mine plows, so they actually can lower down like a hydraulic ram, lowers them down, and they can essentially clear mines out on the roadways with them. They will be red though. On the real tank, even when it was in Russian hands. They were painted like blood red.
Cool. So, I love a little color.
Yeah, it'll be pretty vicious looking when it's all done.
Sweet.
So of course the sides of all the skirts on here will all be printed. It's just a matter of time. We're designing that right now. So when you guys see the renders, you'll have a better idea, and it may actually evolve over time. So the tanker minifig will be a variant of the same tanker that was in the T-64 that we released just a little while ago. Of course, it'll have a different helmet as well. It'll have the correct Russian helmet. One of the coolest features about this is the suspension. I think that's what's got to be.
Yeah, this is what people are seeing online.
So it can go all the way down. Right now, it's kind of being prohibited from going down because there's tiles that simulate the mud flaps on the front. But it can, it is fully functional suspension.
It's got a wobble to it. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. You can go over all kinds of obstacles. It's a fun toy to play with.
Absolutely.
There are going to be people that are going to be like, hey, that's really fragile. I don't like it. All I can say is if you want to look this nice, it's going to be fragile. There's not a Lego piece that simulates a cage that well. So, it's not like it's not sturdy or anything. It's just that
it's still playable, but you got to understand what you're working with.
There's lots of greebles on this thing, and anytime you're going to pick up something with greebles, it's gonna have that want to fall off if you're not careful. But it does have some function to it. The turret rotates. The gun will traverse. It'll do everything it's supposed to do.
Very, very cool.
You can open that front driver's hatch, but there's not really any point to it because you can't really fit a
no
driver
room.
down.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So.
Well, there you have it. Another addition to the Project Ukrainian benefit, the T80 BVM Bunny, now available on pre-order. Dan, thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
All right, we're continuing with our design room check-ins at the desk of Brennan, taking a closer look at the Mirage 3 and, well, just about everything else that he's got going on at this little cubicle space here. So NK Customs did the Mirage 3. What do you think of this build, Brennan?
Well, if you've seen the Mirage 5, you've seen this, but a little different. It's very, very similar in a lot of its regards. Obviously, it's this kind of gray, red pattern, which is not a terrible look. I honestly like it a lot. You can see that the tail is slightly different. It sits a little further forward, and it's a little more kind of long and slanted. Ladder works a lot better, I will say. You've got this really nice ladder that doesn't just kind of lean against it. It actually connects directly to the build, so you can see right there. It's got a lovely little spot. And because it uses that bracket, it's not sticking out so crazy, so it's not absolutely atrocious when you pull it off and want to fly it around. Yeah, largely similar. You may have seen those stickers on the tail we've got there. Slam made some excellent stickers back there. Really liven up the tail end of this. You're going to have plenty of printing on this. Some things we've never really done before. For example, our air brakes are going to get a little along this outline, right? They're going to get a nice yellow, kind of bright yellow thing.
Oh,
I'm not
cool.
exactly sure what that is. I'm assuming it's some kind of denotation for the ground crews, like, hey, this is this, as if the bright red wasn't enough. Going to have a lot of the same printing in terms of, like, you'll get the cannons underneath. You'll get those little ports here and here. You can already see that our loadout is significantly different. We still have the 2 drop tanks, don't have the extra bombs or the sidewinders, but we do have this thing. I'm not exactly sure what kind of bomb that is.
Pretty crazy looking.
I'm going to assume that's some kind of laser-guided bomb. I certainly hope it's not nuclear, because that would be a whole nother step for us that I'm not so sure we want to take. A lot of the same deal. So you still have those bomb racks if you want to, say if you have your own munitions that you want to attach to this.
Customizable hard points.
Same with the drop tanks. You can still get at those.
Very cool.
Pop those off. They're going to have the printing on the caps printed on there as well, as pretty usual. Going to get a nice big old Star of David on both sides of the fuselage and on either wing. For printing, going to get another ejection seat stuck in there. You can see that.
Those cockpit details have really been going crazy as of late.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Another dash, another head HUD. I think the HUD's the same. We kept the old HUD because, use art where you can. Warning triangles either side by the engines here, and just a little gentle curve that goes from this gray to this gray here, and so it creates that kind of gentle
a little swoop
curve to it.
Very, very cool.
Very nice look to it.
What do you got? What do you got over there?
This is the Devastator that, if you've been on Instagram, you've probably seen. And if you're not, you should follow me on Instagram.
There you go. Shameless plug. It's all good.
Shameless plug. It's my desk. I do what I want.
Exactly. I love the colors.
Yeah. It's something that...
You're not going to miss this build.
No. It's something that I kind of went back and forth on. We're still missing some pieces, so you'll see some light gray here, some dark blue here. Those are meant to blend with their larger pieces, so this will be yellow, blue, and this little bit right here, a literal telescopic sight.
Yeah.
You've got a literal scope on an aircraft, which I think is hilarious.
Sniper plane.
Yeah, this is before they had like the reflector sights. So most of the stuff you're going to get is a simple, It's a reticle with a 2-point sight. And this allows for a bit more up close. Even if the plane is a bit far off, you can actually see what you're shooting at. Not that you're going to be able to hit much. You've got a single, and we're going to print this on here. You're going to have a single 30 caliber machine gun sticking out the front. It's not even a 50, it's a 30.
Wow.
That is almost not worth having on there in the first place. Might as well just not go with it. I think the Japanese figured that one out, and they said, this thing is not going to be dogfighting with anything. Just don't worry about it. Got that very distinctive canopy. I know people have been kind of going back and forth on that.
It's a tough one to tackle for sure.
It's really difficult because it's got that distinctive camel hump right where the pilot sits. And I really wanted to sell that because, this plane has some despite being, if you look at it like head on or from the top, for example, it definitely looks like the most generic plane you've ever seen. And so finding those kind of defining features and utilizing those felt necessary. Going to get a crew of 3, so you're going to have a pilot, observer, and a gunner. And our gunner even has a little thing that I learned about. I didn't even know about this, but the Navy guns, they actually tuck away inside the aircraft. And so you can pop those off and drop them. And then once you get them back on, you finally have your gun ready to go.
Yeah, deployed. That's very cool.
It doesn't really turn so much, but I'm sure you guys are smart. We'll figure something out. But it's a pretty cramped spot. So
as it was in real life.
It is. Planes are not as spacious as people think they are. They are cramped. Yeah, so this is the final canopy we're going to go with. You're going to get some printing for the dash in there, obviously, cockpit details.
Big old roundels on the wings and everything.
Big old roundels. They're covering, I think, this whole space right here.
Sure.
So they're pretty darn big. And they're the classic ones. They're the ones with the meatball. So it's the blue circle, white star, red meatball.
Matching the time, right?
And then you'll get some squadron denotations along the side here, and a squadron insignia that Slam saw and was infatuated with. Yeah, pretty good stuff. You can also see we've got a lovely torpedo slung under here. This was actually a Navy requirement that I looked up. So it's actually supposed to sit at a
that angle.
10-degree angle. We can tuck these up for you.
Oh, that's clean. Nice.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's
so
awesome.
The Navy actually required during the competition when they had these planes competing, they said it needs to be, tuck into the aircraft slightly so you can see it kind of actually fits into the aircraft actually, and it needs to sit at a 10-degree angle so that it can enter the water better, because Mark 13 at the start of the war was probably the worst torpedo to have ever been made. A lot of them did things like, blowing up on contact with the water, or just sinking and never engaging, or sinking too low and then just hitting a coral reef.
A lot of troubleshooting, to say the least.
There's just nothing you can do with it. And because of that, these things at Midway, for example, where they were effectively martyred, all of them, well, not quite all of them. A few made it home, but most of them were just destroyed, and they did no damage almost. I think we got 2 torpedo hits, and one of them didn't work. So this plane has now been seen as effectively one of the worst aircraft of the war, which is sort of fair in the sense that this thing was designed, I believe, in 1936.
Sure, old model.
Yeah, and that's at a point where development is happening so quickly that by the time they're like, okay, approved, by the time they actually get it through to a production,
it's almost out of date.
It's already outdated. Yeah. It's outdated when it releases. And so come 1940, 1941, 1942...
Probably a lot of heroic stories about the pilots who tried to bend these planes to their will.
Oh, yeah. Well, cool. Heroic.
Tragic, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. I almost forgot. This thing has these lovely little folding wings, which fold very nearly to the point where they touch the cockpit, which is actually what it does. I mean, you see a lot of planes that just fold them like straight up, or the
This one comes in tight.
right, or the Grummins where they just kind of tuck them behind the plane. These ones are practically touching tip to tip, which I'm fairly proud of getting that detail right.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
And an awesome rundown. Big surprise. We're checking in with Brennan and we're looking at aircraft. Wow, my jaw's on the floor. I better pick it up. But there you have it. Devastator on the way. The Mirage 5. Oh, I knocked the tip off. Whatever.
That's
the Mirage
right.
5 on pre-order right now. Brennan, thanks for checking in. All right, and as you can see here, we are hard at work on a time lapse for the Macon Island build, which has been going on for quite some time now, but it is a huge ship, so that is definitely worth the effort that has been put into it. But if you want to check out that video, you can see it on our Brickmania Reels channel, which is one of 2 new YouTube channels that we've launched. So we have that one, which is going to be home for animations, time lapses, various cool things like that. Then we'll also have the Designer Studio channel, which will be more in-depth breakdowns of those kits. Both of these channels already with content, and then obviously, if you're here, you're watching the sit rep, and this will continue to be the Brickmania News channel. So make sure to check those out. Also on TikTok. I gotta say it every time, right? Because we gotta keep bringing followers to those locations. All right, now I know you guys are excited to hear about the prizes. We leaked it a little bit earlier this week, but let's start with our top 3 here. So first things first, because the theme was movies and films, I figured that the prizes should probably be related to movies and films, right? Yeah. Well, luckily we've had some good stuff in the Brickmania inventory to be able to do exactly that. So our 3rd place prize is going to be the Smart Gunner, the brand new V2 one that does include that awesome perfect caliber brick arm smart gun. But this will be our 3rd place prize. Quite a complete minifigure with 3D UV printing, some serious epicness going on there. So quite literally, this will be the one I will put in customer service, and we will send it to your house should you be the 3rd place winner. The 2nd place winner, D-Day Squad Pack Part 1. We're coming out with a Part 2. So here's my thought. I'm going to show off the Part 1 for now, and if you'd like the Part 1 and you're the 2nd place winner, we can have the Part 1. However, if you would like the Part 2, I will set one of those aside as well. So you can't have both, but you can get one or the other. So if you'd like the brand new one as well, I think we can make that happen too. So 2nd place prize is going to get the D-Day Squad Pack Part 1 or 2, depending on what they want. And then the grand prize winner, is the PBR, because, well, it's from Apocalypse Now. I mean, look at the crew, subtly from Apocalypse Now, but it is. So there you have it. That is going to be our grand prize for the Movies and Films mock contest. Very popular build, comes with that full crew, printing, canvas materials, all that kind of stuff. So an awesome, awesome prize. And that will do it for a Friday Sit Rep. Thank you very much for watching.